Hi everyone, my name's James Ford. I'm a Senior Compliance Officer with the Office of Fair Trading in Queensland and an Inspector duly appointed under the Fair Trading Inspectors Act. As you're aware, the OFT is the government regulatory body within Queensland that aims to deliver a safe, fair and equitable marketplace. Today, we'll be covering the OFT's role and its powers, what legislation applies to agents, Form 6's appointment to Act, trust accounts, as well as our Trust Accounts Guide and a number of case studies. The OFT's role. The OFT aims to deliver a fair and safe marketplace by monitoring traders for compliance and targeting high-risk areas to deter non-compliance, licensing traders to operate in certain regulated industries, conciliating disputes to obtain redress for consumers, investigating possible breaches of legislation and taking enforcement action as appropriate, educating traders and consumers on their rights and obligations. OFT's powers. An OFT inspector has legislative powers to carry out our role. We can, in certain circumstances, compel agents to provide us with information and certain records, such as bank statements. Or we can make application to a magistrate for a search warrant. In certain circumstances, we can freeze your trust account and/or appoint a receiver over the trust property. The legislation allows us to recover a receiver's costs from a real estate agent. What legislation applies to agents? The Office of Fair Trading regulates over 90 pieces of legislation. Industry-specific pieces of legislation for real estate agents and resident letting agents include the Property Occupations Act of 2014 and the Property Occupations Regulation of 2014, which legislate the licensing requirements for real estate agents and how they can conduct their business. The Agents Financial Administration Act of 2014 and the Agents Financial Administration Regulation of 2014. This determines how a real estate agent must operate their trust account. The Australian Consumer Law, or the ACL, which legislates how businesses must operate in the marketplace within Australia, and the Fair Trading Inspectors Act of 2014, which provides inspectors with their powers. The Form 6 appointment to Act. A Form 6 is a contract between yourself and your client. It's extremely important that this form is completed correctly, as it provides protection for not only yourself, but your client as well. If you don't complete your Form 6 correctly, it could be deemed to be ineffective. For example, it's important that you ensure that the licensed entity named on the Form 6 is the same as the entity operating the trust account. An agent not lawfully operating a trust account should not be receiving money, and this is considered a misapplication of trust funds. If you are operating under a corporation, the corporation is the licensee for the purpose of the Form 6. The corporation must be licensed and a trust account must be opened in the corporation's name if it wishes to receive money for the property transactions it is appointed to conduct. If trust money was deposited into the trust account operated by an unlicensed corporation, this would be considered a misapplication of trust money. It is also very important to always download the most recent version of the Form 6 from the OFT website. Many of you will purchase rent rolls. Section 113 of the Property Occupations Act provides guidance for the notice of assignment to all clients within 14 days after the assignment. You cannot change the terms of the appointment. If you wish to change the terms, it is recommended you complete a new Form 6 and provide it to your client for signing. Some common compliance issues we see with this document are Part 7, the Commission Payable, also refer to the Property Management Schedule. Commission includes GST, admin charges, etc. Part 8, Authorisation to incur charges, fees and expenses. Agents must not charge these fees without authorisation. Part 9, Signing and dating of the appointment. This is something so simple, but please do not forget to sign and date your appointment. And ensure you give a copy to your client. The Trust Accounts Guide. We have a handy document produced for you and your auditor summarising your obligations when opening and operating a trust account. You can download or order your free copy from the OFT website. Trust accounting legislative obligations under the Agents Financial Administration Act and the Agents Financial Administration Regulation include: within 1 month of opening a trust account, you must appoint an auditor. Within 1 month after the appointment of your auditor, you must submit written notice of the auditor's name, their address, and their acceptance of the appointment. Within 2 months of opening a trust account, you must submit a Form 5 notification of opening a trust account. Reconciliation versus disbursement. It's important to remember that reconciliation and disbursement are two separate actions. Some agents get confused as they may do a reconciliation and the disbursement at the same time. For reconciliation, you must reconcile the trust account cash book balance with the financial institution's bank statement every single month. This must be completed within 5 business days after the end of each month, but to the last day of the month. And for disbursement, you must disburse to your clients in accordance with the Form 6 Appointment to Act, which can differ between clients and agencies. Most agencies will disburse mid-month and end of month, or just at the end of the month. Review your Form 6 agreements to determine when you should disburse to which clients. Dealing with trust money. The most important thing to remember is that trust money is not your money. It is money that you're holding in trust on behalf of somebody else. Accounting to clients. When accounting to clients, most agencies will send out a monthly owner statement to owners which details information such as the amount that was received, the amount of commission the agency charged, what expenses the client incurred, and the amount the client is to receive into their bank account. Audit reports. Be aware that you, as the agent, are responsible for submitting your audit report, not your auditor. Also be aware of your audit period and the deadline for lodgement of your audit report. Your audit report is usually due within the same month that your licence expires. Our Trust Account Guide provides information on which audit period is applicable to your licence. You can request an extension of your due date, but only before the due date arrives. Keep in mind that your audit deadline changes when you cease to be an agent. If you cease to be an agent, you must submit a final audit report within 2 months from the day you cease being an agent. If you fail to lodge the audit reports, you will be identified by the OFT and enforcement action will be taken. This could include suspension of your licence, fines, and even prosecution. Lodging your audit reports. This can be done online or via email. Record keeping. You must keep your records in a secure, orderly and accessible way for a minimum period of 5 years. Compliance checks. As part of our role, inspectors from the OFT will come out unannounced to conduct a trust account compliance check. We'll introduce ourselves and show you our identification. We will then require you to produce certain documents so that we can audit them. This may include the licences or registrations of all staff on the premises who are performing the duties of an agent. Your assignments to act. This could be your Form 6s or your PAMD Form 20As. Things we might be looking for would be commissions and fees, potential overcharging, expenses and whether or not you're authorised to charge them. We'll review owner statements, trust account receipts, and a number of other documents to ensure compliance. Some common errors or non-compliance we see on a regular basis include unauthorised charging of expenses and overcharging of commissions and fees. Now let's move on to some case studies within this area. Trust accounts frozen by the Office of Fair Trading. For this particular case study, the agent had failed to lodge their audit reports, which led to the suspension of the agent's licence by the Industry Licensing Unit. The agent continued to carry on business as a real estate agent and operate on the trust account. The Office of Fair Trading's internal procedures and access to bank records identified the trust account activity, and using our legislative powers, the OFT froze the trust account and appointed a receiver. Misappropriated trust money by a Sunnybank Hills real estate agent. In this case study, the OFT found more than $237,000 of trust money was misappropriated by the agent. The OFT's investigation found the money had been used for gambling and to pay the agent's personal mortgage. The matter was prosecuted in the District Court, where the agent was found guilty of fraud under the Criminal Code and sentenced to 4 years in prison. The outcome of this matter shows just how serious the courts consider the wrongful use of trust money by a real estate agent. Failure to lodge audit reports by a New Farm real estate agent. This case study found the agent had failed to lodge audit reports for their trust accounts after previously being warned by the Office of Fair Trading and subsequently fined by the Office of Fair Trading. The OFT commenced court action where the agent was found guilty and fined $26,500. In sentencing, the magistrate noted the purpose of legislation regarding trust accounts was to protect consumers from financial loss. Remember, the OFT monitors the submission of audit reports. You must have your trust account audited and submit the audit report to the OFT, or you will be identified and enforcement action taken. In closing, remember that trust money is not your money and you're responsible for other people's money you're holding in trust. If you've got any questions, you can contact us via our website, email, or by picking up the phone and calling. It's also important to stay informed, which you can do so by subscribing to the OFT's Smart Business Bulletin or through your industry body. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your time today, and again, if you've got any further questions, please feel free to reach out to the Office of Fair Trading.